test to make sure that we are streaming. This is going to be an audio event, so I'm not going to have my camera on, but I do want to just check that this is working on LinkedIn, and I hope this is also working on YouTube. That would be the check that I'm hoping to achieve. Let's just see here if we are streaming. Am I streaming or not? Not sure yet. Let's double check on LinkedIn. I know there's a bit of a lag. Just want to make sure this is good to go. Okay, maybe this is working. Let me just check YouTube. Make sure we're streaming on YouTube as well. I'm excited. And if some of you have joined early, please just let me know. Just checking on YouTube here. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we're streaming. This is fantastic. I'm excited. I'm not going to be, I will not be keeping my camera on for this one. This is meant to be an audio live, but we are good. Okay, I did this right. I depend on Felipe to do a lot of our Workplace Wellness Hour live streaming. So I'm a little out of practice. I think the last time I did this, I for sure did not set it up correctly on Restream, so it was definitely going where I didn't want it to go. But I think I figured it out, and the scientist that I am, I've created my own SOP so that I know exactly how to do this the next time, which will be soon because we will be doing another live with the Jetty Wellness Ambassadors, kind of closer to actually next month, probably in November. We usually do a Q3 wrap up in November. Anyways, I'm just going to hang around here for a couple of minutes because the event does start at 11. But if you are here early, then that's good. I'm happy to have you here early. And I will be turning off my camera. Maybe I'll just play some music while we're waiting. How about that? Yeah, we could do that. Yes, let's do that. Let's just chill out for a minute and we'll go live at exactly 11 o'clock Mountain Time, which will be 1 o'clock Eastern Time. So I hope that some of you will join and participate and celebrate World Mental Health Day. That's what this is all about. World Mental Health Day. I'm really excited. I do this event once a year. Last year was a little bit different, but this year we're doing something a little different. And that is just what it is. Whatever you tell me is how I function. If you give me a poll and tell me I want to have an open mic, we're going to do an open mic. That's what we're going to do. So hopefully we can get started in about a minute or so. I will be live for 45 to 60 minutes for World Mental Health Day, which is tomorrow. But we are just going to use the time and the space to have this conversation today, because tomorrow is also the start of Thanksgiving weekend in Calgary. So yeah, that always makes us want to have more time over the weekend to hang out with family and friends and do all those wonderful things. Maybe go for a hike or something. Anyways, I think what I'm going to do now, because it is 11 o'clock, let's turn this off for a moment. And I think also what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my camera off because this is a LinkedIn audio live. So I want to stay true to Clubhouse days and audio days, which was when we did LinkedIn audio or audio in general. And I like listening to podcasts as well, so you don't have to have your camera on. But so let me just turn my camera off, and then hopefully some of you are here. It'll be nice to have some participants join. Because this is an open mic. Therefore, that means that I do want to hear from you as well and hear some stories, hear some strategies, and things like that. So let me just turn my camera off and let's just do an audio live for World Mental Health Day. All right. Welcome. I'm not sure who is in the audience listening on YouTube or listening on LinkedIn. If you are, please chat with me so that I know when my chat, I'm able to see who has joined. This is the annual World Mental Health Day LinkedIn audio that I'm really excited to do. This is a little bit different than what I did last year, which was more of a panel-based conversation with lots of people that joined. But this one is a little bit different because we are definitely listening more to you and having conversations about world mental health. So if you're joining us live, please let me know that you are live, and I'm excited to have all of you here listening and watching and just supporting world mental health. I guess just to start things off, I am excited to welcome everyone who's here. I see some folks, Samantha, I see Leanne, I see Joshua. Thank you so much for joining. I see Nick, welcome. So happy to be here and to participate. World Mental Health Day is tomorrow, October 10th. It's typically on October 10th. I'm hosting this event on October 9th for a few different reasons. One, because it is Canadian Thanksgiving weekend starting tomorrow. So there's a couple of things I have to do for family stuff. Maybe go for a hike. It's on the agenda as well. So I figured, you know what, let's get the celebration started early. And also a few weeks ago, I did a poll on LinkedIn, just asking you folks, what do you want to do for World Mental Health Day? What is something that's important to you? And I gave a couple of options. The first option was, hey, do you want me to do another panel type conversation? Bring in some experts and some thought leaders and have that conversation like I did last year, which was actually pretty cool. And if you want to watch that playlist, that is available on YouTube. It's better to watch it on YouTube because I've clipped all the different speakers. Each of them had about 5 minutes or so to speak. And we had a fantastic conversation last year. But this year, I decided let's just do something cool because the poll results suggested that we should do an open mic, meaning that you get to participate with me and we get to have this conversation. So to start things off, thank you for being here. Tell me where you're from and tell me, maybe just to start things off, tell me why mental health, World Mental Health Day, or mental health in general. Why is it important to you? Maybe just a word might be good enough just to get our things going here. Why is World Mental Health Day, or mental health in particular, important to you? Put that in the chat box. I'd like to see some responses. Welcome, David, as well from London, UK. Thank you for being here. And just maybe put it in the chat box and tell me. And if you're joining me from YouTube, I'd also love to see a YouTube comment as well. So why is World Mental Health Day important to you? And just to let you know as well, I did put a link in the chat that says link to join me on stage. So you can always click that link. I'm allowed to bring about 6 people up on stage. So what I want to do is just have a very open, chill, and just, I want there to be a sense of just ease when we talk about mental health in today's conversation. So I want to hear some tools from you. I want to hear some strategies from you. I want to hear some practices from you that have been important for your own journey in your mental health. So my first question to you, just to get things started, as I do my introduction, was, yeah, why is mental health important to you? Why is Mental Health Day or showing up to an event like this important to you? I would love to hear some or see some comments in the chat box there. Welcome, Lisa. Nice to see you. Oh my God, you did get my invite, so I'm really happy that you joined us. And Thea, you said thank you for hosting the event. It's so important to have these discussions. Thank you, Taya. I haven't seen you in a minute. I've been following your work, and you've been doing such incredible work. So proud of you and everything that you've done. Samantha, you say intentional and carving out space for our well-being and modeling it for others. That's a great response. Now, if you don't know me, I'm sure I think you know me because you're in my event. If you don't know who I am, my name is Sumana Jetty. I am the founder and CEO of a company called Jetty Wellness that I am very passionate about. It is my little baby, and it's almost 5 years old now, which is so weird to think about. I looking back at even Sam from Clubhouse days, and I think I met some of you in Clubhouse after COVID, and that's when this whole brand and this vision started. Me leaving healthcare from my infectious disease and epidemiology and surveillance space because of my deteriorating mental health in that space, and the impact of supporting a very intense period for many healthcare workers, and leaving that space into a space of research and into a space of learning and education and well-being in the corporate space. That pivot happened in 2020, 2021, and I'm so delighted to be here and share some stories and strategies and some practices. But World Mental Health Day, there's a few different reasons as to why it is being celebrated every year on October 10th, and I've been very passionate about making some space for World Mental Health every single year. It's not just about raising awareness. I think raising awareness is just one important element, in our communities, in our schools, in our workplaces. It's important to celebrate that and remove some of that stigma, but it's also important to promote access to care. How do we, create opportunities where we can talk about the gaps in mental health and promote those solutions, which is why this open mic is meant more for you, because I want to hear some solutions for you. And it's not just this one day for us to talk about mental health. I know Workplace Wellness Hour, the flagship show that has been part of the collective for 4 years now, we always bring up conversations on mental health. So this isn't a once a year conversation. This is like embedded in our daily practice. I know for me, and I think a lot of you who are joining me as well, I'm sure this is important for you. So I am inviting you to, maybe tell me a little bit about why mental health is important to you. We have one of our speakers from last year, our panelist, Jacqueline, you're here as well from New York. Happy to join you and support Mental Health Day. I know last year we had a fantastic conversation with you, and I think there was like 11 or 10 other speakers that we had, and it was so much fun, and I really enjoyed having you as well. Now, I'll tell you a little bit about what I'm looking for over the next 45 minutes. What I'm looking for is you. I need you to come and join me on stage. And this is an open mic, meaning I will give you an opportunity to come and share a story, perhaps a practice, perhaps a tool or a strategy, maybe something you just want to get off your mind. If something's been heavy on you, we'll give each of you an opportunity, or as many as we can allow for the time that we have, to come and just talk about any one of those things. So you can come up on stage and say, hey, my name is, and I'm here to tell you a story, or you can say, hey, my name is, and I'm here to give you a practice or a tool or a strategy. And just so we know what the vocabulary is, if you joined Workplace Wellness Hour last week, I had talked about the difference between what a tool is. The tool is just it's how you would say it's the what. What are the actions and some specific resources that you're using? Are you using an app? Are you using a meditation guide? Are you using any kind of wellness checklists or AI prompts, for example. Those would be tools. Strategies are more the how. How do you plan an approach, and how do you plan that approach given the tools that you have, so that you can get to those milestones and the direction you want to go. If it takes about, the research say it takes about 66 days to develop a habit. So if you're developing a good mental health habit, what is your strategy with the tool that you have to do that? For example, a strategy could be, I'm really setting some digital boundaries to reduce my screen time. And I can say for me, Sumana, I have been very, very good about limiting my social media consumption. And that was part of my commitment that I made in September for the Great Lock-In. If you joined that show that I did, I said I am going to reduce my social media intake, which I have been very diligent about doing that. I'm protecting my space, and I'm also building some really positive social connections and making sure that I have that time. Some other things I'm doing before I bring you up on stage, which you're welcome to do. Marcia, welcome, and thank you for joining us. It's so nice to have you. You were also one of our speakers from last year. So if you want to join, there is a link in the event description of LinkedIn, and I probably should put that on YouTube as well, so I can do that in a moment. All you got to do is just click that link, and I think I can just bring you up here. We can try that. So if you want to do that, just let me know, put it in the chat box and say, hey, I'd like to come up on stage, and then join that link. If you don't see that link, also let me know, because I am seeing your chat here, and I don't really have a support system today to support me with this event. But if you do need any support with that link, if you find it, I did put it up there. If you want to help your colleagues who are listening, that would also be really, really great. Some other things that I've been doing as well for my own mental health I think this is more of a tool, because I've been enjoying, I haven't been posting much about this, but I've been enjoying these beautiful sunrises. I'm very, very grateful that I live in a new apartment here, that I get to see this beautiful sunrise over top of the hill. And the one thing that I've been doing after gym, because as some of you know, I go to the gym early in the morning, and when I do get back lately, because we haven't switched our clocks yet, the sunrise is close to around 6:55, 7 o'clock in the morning. I get to see the sunrise. And what I've been doing is also using this app, which I talked about on LinkedIn. It's called How We Feel. It was created by scientists. It's just this beautiful, easy to use app that allows me to get very specific on the type of feeling that I'm feeling, and not just happy, sad, angry, frustrated, but maybe I'm feeling more than that. And what does that look like? So I click that feeling, I click that emotion, and then I journal about it a little bit. On those days I want to journal, it doesn't take very long. I can record it just with my audio, or I can type a couple words or sentences. So I've been doing that. I wouldn't say every day, but definitely whenever I get to enjoy that sunset, which is probably a couple times a week now. So I will, full disclaimer, it's not something I'm doing every day, but I am trying my best. So I will put the link in the chat box again. Absolutely. Hold on just one moment, Marcia. There was a link that I put. I will find it and I will put it in as well. So you have it and you can join us and you can talk to us about a strategy or a story, perhaps even a tool that is helping you, or a general practice. I think I also want to just hear, like, what's the general practice that has helped you? So here, hopefully this will help. I just put that in the chat box of the event. Hopefully you got that. Otherwise, I will DM that to you as well, Marcia. If you need me to do that, I'm happy to do that. It's interesting when you're doing this alone. It feels like, hey, it'll be nice to have Felipe or Ashley help me. Anyways, hopefully you have that link and you can join. And if you don't see that link, let me know. But I would love to have some of you pop in. Jacqueline, I know you wanted to pop in. Taya, Samantha, whoever's watching, if you want to pop in and maybe, talk to me a little bit about a tool or a strategy or a general practice, or even just get something off your chest. I think this is a safe space, and whatever you feel comfortable, I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to have you join as well. Now, in the meantime, while that's happening, because I know there's a bit of a lag between LinkedIn and the words that are coming out of my mouth in real time, I also just want to talk to you a little bit about what I've been reflecting on for World Mental Health Day, but also mental health in general is this disengagement or this social isolation that a lot of us, this disconnection that a lot of us are feeling from working remotely and just not having the same connections that we did. That I know is extremely hard on some of us. And how do we navigate? How do we navigate that space when we don't have that social support? What are some tools that we can do? Jetty Wellness has a blog. Let me put that in the chat box. If you don't see the link, let me do that here in just a moment. Hold on. If you folks are not seeing that link, which is very strange, but give me just a moment here. I will find it for you and I will put it in the chat box. Hold on just a minute here. I think this should work. How about this? This should work, hopefully. And if it doesn't work, let me know. I don't see the link. Okay, let me know if you see the link now. Otherwise, I will DM you. I can also do that, and then you can hop up on stage with me. Samantha, I think if you want to pop up, if I can send that to you as well. Here, just a moment. There you go. Anyone else wants to join? Maybe just let me know. And this is the link. If it's not already on the in the chat box here, then it should be there. All right. Who do we have here? We have Marcia. Hey, Marcia.
What's happening, Savannah? How you doing this afternoon?
Oh,
Nice to
I'm
see you, my
well,
friend.
Marcia. Good to see you too. I love your background photo.
Thank you. So what I've been doing, Savannah, I've been working more on breath work, which is a
Mm-hmm.
whole entire job. I took a 3 day breath works seminar back in July. Been very, very interesting. So I've been really trying to focus more on breath work. I haven't been really 100% successful, but that's what I'm want to get it down. My heart rate is down, but I want commitment is to continue, to work on the breath work more on a more consistent basis than what I've
Mm-hmm.
been doing. So that's what I've been doing. But you know all about my other situations, so I'm not going to bore the audience. But that's what I've been doing. So man, journaling, not so much. I should, but sometimes, man, I don't feel like it. I don't have time. It's just so much
Mm-hmm.
going on. I still work out,
Mm-hmm.
guys, walk. It's looking like I'm almost recovered from my foot surgery. So I'm still doing things to take just to make sure that I'm on point, at this time. So that's
I
it.
love that. What have you for your breathwork seminar? Was there something that you learned that was different than what we've been learning about breathwork? Is there something cool that you learned?
Yes. You know what, Samantha? So our facilitator, he wanted to. What's been a bit of a challenge for me, Samantha, absolutely was breathing in through your nose and out through your nose, and breathing from your throat. It's
Ooh,
the different. Yes, it was very interesting, very very interesting. And it was very intense for 3 days. It was extremely intense. So I learned how to do things. I've done some things with this group before, so I was familiar with, but a lot of things I weren't. So it was very interesting, especially that breathing in
mm,
and out
it's
through through your nose. It's like seriously, yes.
I
So
understand that.
I've been really
I
working on that.
remember, yeah, I remember taking one breath class, which was very intense. I didn't really realize how intense it could be. And to be honest with you, Marcia, I didn't enjoy it because it was, I think it's maybe it was an advanced class, and I don't know why that happened, but there was a lot of breathing where you almost start to feel like a little dizzy, because they're making you do so much of it that you almost start to like feel a little dizzy. And by the time I left the class, I was like, I don't want to do this at all. This is not good. But maybe it was just an advanced class, but I know that there's probably a few different ways that you can incorporate breath work into your into your mental health space. Now, one other question I have for you, Marcia, is I know you are a big advocate of mental health. Why is celebrating World Mental Health Day an important element of your, or important for you as a person?
You know what? Like I said, me and stuff from the platform, and it's very, very important to me because the mental health struggle is real. And I have family members that struggle from depression, anxiety, different things like that. For me, Samantha, my brother had a conversation about his depression the day before he passed. That part. So, it's
Mm.
very personal to me. Very, very personal, the mental health and the fact that, and I have a big mouth. And it's funny, I was just having a conversation with somebody earlier this week. And I said, y'all, you can raise your hand. It's okay. It's okay not to be okay. Raise your hand. I'm tired of people saying they good, Samantha. So that's why I'm on here. And I love you for having these platforms so we can always express things, Samantha. And last year's seminar, so thank you for letting us have the clip. And I actually showed it, I actually sent it to the person that caused me all that grief after a decade. Yeah, so thank you.
Mm. You're welcome. And I appreciate you, Marcia. I appreciate your passion for mental health and all that you've been doing and staying on top of it. I think one key message here that I think I'd like to share with you and the audience who's listening is your mental health will, of course, have ups and downs. And I think that it's, for me, I feel like it's just kind of always there. I don't ever feel like, yeah, there's some moments where you have like really good days, but the strategies and tools will need to change as our circumstances change. I know over the fall last year, summer, it's just been just my own struggles. There's been a lot of that's been going on in my own life, but I've had to learn and pick up some new skills and then give up on some old ones and then challenge myself in some ways and then revert back in some other ways. So it's a very dynamic process. So I want you to think about this as not like, hey, this is a one-time thing and I'm doing it and it's finished. Be graceful with how you adopt a tool or a strategy or your practice, and be okay that maybe sometimes you might drop the ball, and that's okay, and you might need something easy. So it's almost kind of going between this easy, intermediate, advanced level depending on where you're at. And we should be okay that maybe some days we're really doing advanced breath work and that it looks so easy, and some days I can rarely get out of bed and that's hard. So that would be my key message for that. And thank you, Marcia, for joining as well. Really happy to have Jacqueline. It's been a while. I've been following your work and you've been doing some incredible work. Welcome. And you were our speaker last year on World Mental Health Day. So I'm really, really grateful that you took the time to come and do this open mic style thing, which is a little bit different, a bit more casual. How are you?
Hello, my friend. And I don't know how the LinkedIn listeners are capturing this voice because there is an overlap of voices, like the two of you, or I could hear both at the same time. But let's put that aside. So the question was, what do I do to promote my own mental fitness? Um, I think I start today putting into different buckets. Exercising is really important. I start today setting my intention. Sometimes the mind is quite busy. So, what I try to do, if there are too many things to do and the setting your intentions is not coming immediately, I pause and maybe offer a few minutes of gratitude. Go to the gym very early in the morning, take my day and do my check-ins to make sure that we are aligned, our actions are aligned to our values, and the same reflection towards the end of the day. One gift that I'm giving to to everybody listening here and others on LinkedIn, if you look at what I have recently published, After years of research and collaboration with mental health professionals, with coaches, with different collaborators for health at work and people, I was able to not just create a protocol for reflection, but also convert that into an AI empowered tool. It's I have purposefully launched with equitable access free of charge, and I want my goal here is to keep receiving the positive feedback that I'm receiving towards I feel better or I'm more steadier. I'm feeling more centered. I know what my next step is on this complex and high stakes situation, because I was able to pause and reflect and had safe as part of my toolbox, right? So that's on a nutshell the type of like the type of feeding. And of course I have friends, I have coaches, I also use therapy when needed. So I make sure that the toolbox is full of different, it's like a Swiss knife, it's full of different resources to access when it's needed. Does it make sense?
Oh my God, I love that. I muted myself because I didn't want any background noise, but I think that error message is gone. So thank you for flagging that. The analogy of the Swiss knife, like you said it, and it made so much sense in my head. I was like, oh, this is exactly what we need. Is we need to have different things for different moments in our lives and different circumstances in our lives, and to be able to pull exactly that. And each of us will have something very unique in our toolkit, and I think that's what I love about what you shared. I did take a look at your AI tool video. It was so cool, and I would love to have you maybe put that in the chat box so that people can explore that. I think it's such a great resource. I can't believe that's, I believe that it's been created because we're in this space of AI. But can you tell me a little bit about what made you want to even create something like that? Was it a personal story experience, something happened, or was it a need that you saw your customers or clients and people needed?
I think the short that a Brazilian can tell, right, on a story like that, it's out of necessity. As you pass through so many, like, there are personal and professional situations in life where uncluttering your mind and being able to separate emotions, facts, or traumas of the past, situations of the past that you are projecting into a moment that may not be the same, raising that curiosity. So I would think I can think of a few instances where I could be in I could help more if I had the opportunity and chance to, and the habit, right, of knowing when to pause, knowing when to find that space where I may need to jot down what's a fact, what's really an emotion. And why do I call, like, going back to look forward. You cannot change the past, but it can change who, like, we can control who we are right now. So there are so many things nowadays that can create a lot of frustration and sadness and block us from being our best selves. That moment of when you feel your body being filled with emotions that are not really helpful for that moment. I'm not saying suppress the emotion. I'm just saying embrace, acknowledge, but also figure out a way to reframe. And the what I was looking for, the need was sometimes it's so hard to reframe, and not everybody has a rich to someone who can help you reframe. So I think the way the tool was built, this resource was built, is to actually help you with that smidge of what if, with a little bit more of curiosity.
I love that. And I think that's where a lot of us, especially when our mental health is at its worst, we don't know where the Swiss knife is. We're like, I don't even know where my toolbox is. I'm looking for it. And then B, I think we get into this fight or flight state where we lose the ability to critically think. And having a tool like this, I would even say for workplaces, having a tool like this that's bookmarked, where that it can just allow us for just a moment to reframe. And we all need help. I think one of the biggest things I've learned being in the space of well-being, and even in my own journey, is that we all need help. And what that help is, and the way that help is packaged, can look very different for different people. And since we're so tied up to our computers and our phones and our devices, we reach for our device for help for the most part. And if there's something that's more bespoke that I know works and it's my go-to, and it can just help me just reframe just even a smidge, like you said, I think that's beautiful. I think that's what's needed. And I'm so glad it's been created, Jacqueline. Awesome.
My pleasure. And I would say one last piece. If a lot of the leaders that we have nowadays, managers, leaders with an amount of power that can impact entire countries and whatnot, have the opportunity to create some sort of reflection. And you still need to get the business done. You still need to, let's say, performance still needs to exist, but you can create an environment around you where people want to be part of, where people want to collaborate. And sometimes I have seen so many times good people, good intentions, but lots of blind spots. What uplifting others really means when things are really tough, right? When there is a lot of pressure, how to find that space so you can create the pause for your team to really be the best they can be. And if you have individuals taking action, if you have teams benefiting from those actions, if you have business units, then different sections of the company, we are talking about converting, let's say, a high productivity could be, or a medium productivity into a high performance and high and long-term delivery of sustainability, right? And for the people around. The one, and paired with that, I want to make a big caveat. AI is a technology. It should exist for with the purpose of serving human beings and augmenting their capacity of for thinking, not to do for them, but to actually help them to pause, found their center, and augment their capacity for thinking. So that's the last bit.
I love that. Thank you. No, I love it. One thing before I let you go, and hopefully we can have more people join us on stage for another 20 minutes or so. What would be your and please put your tool in the chat box after we're done here. But what would be the one? I know you've mentioned a few practices that you do, but if there was one practice that you would like to add, it's been in the back of your mind and you haven't done it, but you want to add in your toolkit, what would that be?
So many, right? Because I would say a more diligent practice of meditation.
Yeah.
Because it does, I feel the benefits every time I'm able to create the discipline and pause afterwards. I'm way more alert, and the ideas flow more naturally. Um, so I would say a little more of meditation, but I keep my mind open. Today's meditation, tomorrow could be something else. Um, it could be going out the garden. It could be petting my
Mm,
dog. It could be
mm.
picking up the phone and connecting with a friend. So I will go back to the Swiss arm uh,
Swiss
tool.
Army knife. I love it. I love that one.
But meditation would be my something that I've been working on. Thanks for
Lovely.
asking.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Jacqueline. I really appreciate having you on stage. I look forward to having our listeners take a look at your tool. And, we do this event once a year, and I'm just really delighted that you were able to make a couple of minutes of your time to do this kind of open mic type of stage. I didn't really want to do any, here's your time limit, you need to come. This was just more of an opportunity for communities to just come and talk and share some stories. So I appreciate having you, and hopefully we'll stay connected and do more and more of these in the future.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you for putting this together again.
Thank you so much. Awesome. Thank you, Jacqueline. Bye. All right, folks, I'm really happy to continue this conversation. There was a couple things that are in my notes that I want to talk about for those of you who are still here listening. First of all, please come join, have a conversation with me. Tell me a story, tell me a tool, tell me a strategy, tell me a practice, or even tell me if there's something you want to get off your mind, to get off your chest, and you just want to use this platform to do that, you can do that. Of course, I know this is a public domain, so maybe you don't want to say everything, but whatever comes to mind that you feel safe sharing, you can. Two things, okay, maybe one. Let's start with one. The one thing that I do want to maybe piggyback on that Jacqueline has shared, which was also in my notes, was your blind spots, your mental health blind spots. I think these are just areas that we are not really aware. Like, what are our patterns? What are some of our vulnerabilities? What are some of those factors internally, externally, with our families, with our coworkers, that are potentially preventing us from seeing the best version of ourselves? And what do those blind spots look like? Are those emotional blind spots? Are these social blind spots? Are you this happens a lot in the workplace, I'll tell you, the social relational blind spot, where you start to think you're misreading, especially when you're going through burnout, or if you're going through high levels of stress, you start to misread behaviors. You start to notice that, oh, maybe that email had a tone. I didn't like that. Where did that come from? But perhaps that email didn't have a tone. It's just the way that we're assuming we have our blind spots on, so we don't see that. We may be assuming that the expectations that are being brought to us are a little unfair. We could definitely have cognitive blind spots where we start to think like, I'm not good enough. I don't feel good. That happens to me a lot when I am feeling that overwhelm and that stress, and I start to question a lot of my own thoughts, a lot of my own assumptions. I have my own biases, and I start to have this narrative of like, I'm not good enough for this. I'll tell you, even before I went live on LinkedIn, I don't do this as often because I rely on Felipe to do Workplace Wellness Hour, and I show up as a guest on that show, and he does a lot of the heavy lifting of streaming, and I only do probably 3 or 4 events a year, and in the past I was doing events every week, couple times a week. So I'm a little out of practice when it comes to hosting my own event. And then there's also this feeling of, well, who's going to show up, who's going to listen, and who am I doing this for? And to be quite honest, those thoughts did come to my mind, and I had to quadruple check if this was all working, because the last time I did this for my ambassadors Q2 highlights, I think I didn't integrate Restream with LinkedIn, and it was streaming in a different space. So that happens. But beyond that, I'm kind of curious from the folks who are listening and perhaps watching, what are some blind spots that you feel like you get yourself caught up in? What are those, and perhaps what are also some behaviors or actions that you are practicing to reduce these blind spots? Are you looking for mindfulness practices perhaps, or are you learning? I'm a huge fan of learning and development in education. Are you learning about these triggers and coping through therapy or through podcasts? Are you self-reflecting? Are you doing some journaling? Are you doing using an app, using tools like the one Jacqueline mentioned, or AI to help you support and reduce these blind spots? I'd love to maybe have a few of you or some of you come on stage if you're still listening, and maybe let's talk about that for a couple of minutes. But the original question that I have for you still remains. The original question and the invitation was to have you come celebrate Mental Health Day with me, and we can even just talk about a practice or a tool or a strategy that's benefited you, and what does that look like? I would also love to have you come speak about that. So, Linda, good afternoon. Nice to have you as well. Where are you joining us from? Let me know. And in the event, there is a post that you can go check out, the SAFE, the SAFE AI tool that's been created by Jacqueline, who was our mental health speaker from last year, and just doing some incredible work in the space of well-being and leadership and everything. You should definitely check out Jacqueline, and also check out other people that are in the conversation. I think there's so many cool people that we get to meet, and that was the benefit of having platforms like Clubhouse, social audio at the time when we needed it, and we just wanted to connect and grow our communities and get to support one another. So that's where we're at. Jay, you're here. If you'd like to join me on stage, let me know. There is a link in the chat box. I will put it up again. Hopefully you're getting it. It's going to YouTube, I believe, but hopefully it's also coming to LinkedIn. But if it's not, I'm happy to DM you a link if you want to maybe pop up on stage with me and say hello. Just have a conversation, whatever works. Would love to have maybe just one or two more people tell me a story or a strategy or a tool. That would be nice. Otherwise, I will just continue talking to you about some of my tools and strategies as well. The one other thing that I have in my notes that I wanted to talk about was this is more of a practice, and I'm generally a very playful person, and the premise of Jetty Wellness, if you've been following the last 5 years, has always been to add a little bit of joy, a little bit of playfulness in the way that evidence-based research is being translated into some strategies and some frameworks for organizations. That was always the vibe. The vibe was always, it's got to be fun. If it's not fun, then what am I even doing with research? So play is a very important part of my I think my life. I love playfulness. I love adding play to my just my like things I do with my friends, but also in my work, and just adding ways to create some lightness and some lightheartedness in our experiences. So the most recent blog that I wrote for Jetty Wellness, which is a monthly blog that we write every month, was on play and how to use playful work design to support the way that we work, and to create some just moments where things are humorous, and maybe setting up some personal challenges, and creating space where work doesn't always have to be this big heavy thing. It can also be fun, and it can also improve your focus and creativity and your performance as well. And play, if you look at our blog, it comes in a few different, it's a spectrum. So it can be anywhere from very structured and serious and competitive, which is on one side, and on the other side, it can be very childish and open-minded, and it can have some fantasy elements to it. It can also be just not serious. It doesn't always have to be serious. So the one thing that I did a couple of summers ago, falls, I guess autumn, was flying a kite. I haven't done that in years, and that was something I always wanted to do. And I got to fly a kite on a beautiful weekend, and it was just so nice to just have a bit of childish memories and just add a bit of fun on on a weekend when I was very busy working and I wanted to take a break and I didn't know what to do. So went to fly a kite and it was a lot of fun. I had, I had, I definitely felt like I was 6 years old all over again. So one mental health strategy that for me is a foolproof mental health strategy. And if you know me, you know this about me, is I like humor, I like laughter, I like a lot of fun. So if I'm having a really bad day, I am listening to a stand up, anything that can make me laugh. If you can make me laugh, you're already winning. Or I'm watching cartoons, which is another way that I like to add fun in my life. So my Sunday routine, if you know me, you know this, is cartoons on Sundays. I don't know. It just gets me. It's a vibe. I like it. It makes me happy, and I don't feel stressed. So it's always a good thing. I see Hannah is at the airport. And I know it's loud there. Hannah Nees is our Jetty Wellness Ambassador, soon being promoted to something cool. We'll keep a lookout for that title change as soon as we're ready. But the comment here is, one blind spot I'm working on is recognizing and understanding my capacity and how it fluctuates. Capacity versus capability. If there's one evidence-based strategy that has been the best and the most I guess a favorite in the workshops that we teach, is the difference between capacity and capability. What am I capable of? What are my skills? What are my strengths? What is my knowledge? That's the capability piece. And what is my capacity? Do I have the bandwidth mentally, physically, emotionally to actually do this? And it's almost like a tug of war between capacity and capability, when one says, oh, no, you can do it, and the other says, I really don't think I can. And I think usually it is the capability that is the tug of war, and it's the ego that comes with being capable, and you feel like I can of course do this. I have the skills and the knowledge to maybe power through the spreadsheet and identify some redundancies that is part of my job, but my brain physically cannot do this, and I need to take a break. So that is a fantastic blind spot, Hannah. Thank you for sharing. And the sooner we get clarity on what that means, the better it is for all of us, so we don't go into that burnout loss spiral. Okay. What else? Is there anything else? Does anybody else want to pop up on stage? I would welcome one more guest. We do have time for maybe one more guest if you want to pop up and maybe share with me a tool or a strategy or a story, perhaps. That would be great as well. Otherwise, I do have one more thing I wanted to talk about, but if you do want to come on stage, maybe put it in the chat box here, and I am looking through your chat options and your chat comments, and if there's anyone who wants to join, I would love to have you. We have, oh, Linda, you're from Ontario, Canada. Hey, my old home. That is where I started. My life was in Ontario, in Toronto, in the GTA. And then now I am very much an Albertan. I think I have adopted to the lifestyle here, but I try my best to go to Toronto. At least I have a lot of friends back home, and not in Toronto itself, but in the GTA. Barrie, Peterborough, North York, Yorkville, Hamilton, those spaces. So whenever I get a chance to go, I go, and I usually get to Pearson. I get a car, and I'm out of there. I'm never in Toronto. I'm always out of Toronto in Lake Country, which is what I love. It's so beautiful. And I know you folks have such gorgeous fall weather, so it's my favorite time to go to Toronto is like September, October. So really happy that you're here. Thank you for joining. Danielle Hall, our autistic son was giving a person the pinky a few days ago. Okay, we're having a little story moment here. And I asked, what does that mean? ? He said, that's for people that don't deserve the best dad. And he then flipped me the middle finger. Oh my God. Danielle Hall, please do come up. Hopefully you can find that link in the chat box there somewhere. I did post it, so if you can scroll up and find the two red exclamations that says link, that should work. It'll be great to have you, and that'll be fantastic. Otherwise, we will continue this conversation for a couple more minutes. I'm not going to take up too much of your time. I have loved doing this this open mic style conversation. I think it's just like fun when you don't have an agenda. It's a bit more playful. It's a bit more chill and relaxed, and no pressure for anyone. If they don't feel like they want to, if they don't want to come, that's okay. We will just do it podcast style. Hopefully, Daniel, you found the link. And the other note I have that I really quickly wanted to talk about that I mentioned in the beginning of this live was the social disconnection that we're feeling. Social disconnection from just being tied to our computers, our digital devices. I see this all the time. There's a train station by my house, so I get to see people waiting for the train. And I always see them on their phones. It's always people on their phones and no one's really looking up. And it's really sad when I see stuff like that. Daniel, if you don't see the link, hold on just a moment. I will DM it to you. So everyone's got their head down. No one's got their head up. And it's really quite sad when I see that. And it makes me feel like we are losing a sense of what it's like to have a conversation with a human being. So there's 5 different types of social support that we've mentioned in many of our blogs on the Jetty Wellness domain. And I'll quickly just go through them. There's emotional social support, which is just simply listening to people. If you just want to vent and just have someone to talk to, I have lots of people in my list that I just call and do that. There's informational support where you're leaning on someone for advice. You're leaning on someone to help you solve a problem, for example. That's one of it. And there's definitely the tangible social support where someone's actually stepping in to help you. Like, I need someone to take my dog for a walk. I need someone to pick up my kids from daycare because I'm running late in the office. That's tangible support. So having different people in your life that can support you in different ways is a great way to know that you're not alone. And that's so important for your mental health. Daniel Hall, welcome. Thank you for joining us. How are you?
I am doing remarkable. Happy Thursday. Maybe
Happy
Friday.
Thursday. Happy Thursday. Thursday for me too.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, so the story I was telling you is he's sitting there going like this. I'm like, what does that mean? And he's like, Dad, and I excuse the profanity. He's like, that's for people that don't deserve the best. That's what, and he's autistic. He has no filter, and from a mental health standpoint has become one of my biggest teachers in life. He hears things that a lot of us don't hear because they hear things at different frequencies than either we're capable or not capable of hearing. But it's amazing what they hone in on and pick up on. And he has picked up on the middle finger quite a bit. So it was nice to...
I'll unmute myself. I was going to say, I think, and how old is your son?
He's 13.
13. I was going to say, I think the Gen Zs are just way ahead of the game. They know more. They do more. They're challenging the status quo. They're way more vocal about mental health. My generation for sure dropped the ball on that. We didn't really know what it was about. We're just trying to catch up and say, I think my mental health's really messed up. I need therapy now. And we're doing it late in our years. And the younger kids they know more. I think technology is teaching them so many things that we did not learn when we were growing up. So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, if I were to pass along one piece of advice to anybody that was working with children, we constantly ask our kids and remind them. We'll ask them, how do we learn? And they'll respond now by saying, by failing. So we always instill that into them, that it's okay to get things wrong. That's how we learn. But
Yes.
some people think of it as getting things wrong. Other people think of it as failure, and it's okay
Mm.
to fail. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Do you have any a tool or a strategy or a practice that you that you want to share, that you've been sharing
Sure.
about mental health before
We
we wrap
have
up here?
we have 6 adopted children.
Hmm.
And one of the things that we do every night before they go to bed, we ask them, "What's tomorrow?" And they'll always tell us it's a new day. That's one key thing that we've always used to let them know that we forgive them for anything that's happened today. Tomorrow, the slate is wiped clean and we start over. We get
Yes.
up, it's fresh. We don't dwell on the negative from the previous day. There'll be subtle reminders of, remember that time when. So, but we just don't dwell on it, and that has been so successful for us.
Yeah, you know what, that's funny you say that, because I was having a conversation with my friend's daughter who's 17 or just turned 17,
Mhm.
and you know how teenagers are, they're just very nonchalant and they're just very chill. And the one piece of advice that she gave me was exactly that. She said, yeah, I just live for the day. I live for the day.
Yep.
And when the day finishes, I start a new day. It's a new life almost. And it seems a little like, as an adult or a parent, you'd be like, I don't know if that's the way to live. You need to plan. You need to have all of these things. But if you really narrow and focus in on what that means, that's what it is. I forgive you for today. I am grateful for today. I'm graceful as well for the day, and starting that over. I've been practicing that a lot more, to be like, well, living for the day, and it's been working out really well.
Good. Good.
So thank you so much, Daniel. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining and celebrating World Mental Health Day, which is tomorrow, but we're doing it today because it's Canadian Thanksgiving weekend stuff tomorrow. So I won't be available to host, but I wanted to at least do something. And I figured I'll do it one day earlier versus not doing it at all.
That's awesome. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful day. And thank you for joining everybody who's been here. I'm going to wrap things up here. It's been such a pleasure. I did turn my camera back on, which is like, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're just having fun. This was supposed to be an audio, but whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll just have fun. The only last thing I think I want to say is, whatever your tool is, whatever your strategy is, whatever your practice is, it's not just meant to be for World Mental Health Day today. I'd like you to consider learning something from our comment section, or also just practicing something new. There was a comment from, I'll just bring that up for just a moment here. There was a comment from Sam that I really liked, that I want to bring back up, which is this one right here. I really like this comment, where it's a process, it's a practice. It's not just about adding things, it's also about subtracting things. So be mindful of where you're at, be mindful of your own personal capacity, your capability, your mood, your emotion. Use an app if you need to, use a framework that Jacqueline's given if you need to, but get that Swiss Army knife. What a brilliant analogy. Get that Swiss Army knife and use whatever tool that you need, and have a strategy. And maybe that strategy is just a 24-hour strategy. And I think that's perfectly okay, because I'll be the first one to admit that I've been kind of operating on a 24-hour strategy, and it's been okay. It's been okay. That's what I need right now. I don't really have capacity to be thinking long term, to be thinking, hey, what's my life going to be like in December? Don't ask me. But if you ask me, do you want to go for a coffee today? I might most likely say yes, because I'm living for 24 hours and it's been working brilliantly for me, because that's where I'm at. But that doesn't mean that's where you're at. So work with what you have, work with what makes sense for you. I appreciate you. I appreciate the time you've taken listening on YouTube or LinkedIn and commenting and just being part of the celebration. I wish I could do more, and I promise to continue doing this at least once a year. The only other thing that's coming up from Jetty Wellness would be the Q3 workplace wellness highlights that I typically do in just before the end of the year. In November, we bring all the ambassadors together. We'll do something like this. Maybe we can have our cameras on if you want, or we can have them off, but we'll do something like this. We'll just discuss the top strategies that we've implemented over the course of the quarter, or maybe even the year, just to wrap things up. Like what stuck, what are we adding, what are we subtracting? I love that. I think I'm just going to use that as my motivation for Q3 as we wrap things up here. That's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you enjoyed World Mental Health Day, and please keep doing things for your mental health, for today, for tomorrow, and just for your entire life. I think this is something that we can never stop talking and thinking about, and I am just so grateful to spend the hour with you. And I look forward to coming back in November, but definitely coming back also for Workplace Wellness Hour on a Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern with Felipe Cofinio and Ashley Llewellyn. We do that on Monday nights. So that's happening this Monday, on the Thanksgiving Monday on the 13th for us here in Canada. Otherwise, I will definitely see you at some point on LinkedIn. And it's been such a pleasure. And have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon, evening, night, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in. Cheers. Bye.